What's up, everyone? So I just got home from my boxing training, and while I was training today, I was reminded of a period in the beginning of a sobriety. I am 23 sober. I've been sober since July 10th, 2001. But anyway, early on, I had to make a decision, right, to commit to myself and to my recovery. And there was a whole process of events, or a series of events. That's the word I'm looking for. A whole series of events that happened that brought me to a place where I eventually came to my knees and was just ready to surrender, right? And just to willing to take that leap of faith and just lean into it and trust God, right? And one of the slogans or whatever little phrases that was said to me early on in recovery was, you can do anything you want, Lisa. You just have to be willing to live with the consequences of your actions. And that helped me feel like I wasn't being forced to submit, because when I heard that, I was like, okay, I just have to think before I do something. And if I'm willing to live with the consequence of whatever may happen from whatever I do, then it's a yes. And if I'm not, it's a no. And it seemed simple enough, and it helped me feel like I was in control of where I was going, rather than, because I struggled a lot with sobriety before. This is my lucky 13th time. And, that's why number 13 is one of my lucky numbers. But as it is for a lot of people, I've noticed even Taylor Swift, she has a lot of synchronicities with the number 13, and there's power in that. Okay. The 13 breaks down to a 4, which 4s are about protection and stability. And it's just really interesting to me. So anyway, you can do anything you want. You just have to be willing to live with the consequences of your actions. Boom, pow, that's it, right? So I still think about this to this day. It's not like somebody just said that to me and I took this shit serious, okay? The woman that that took me under her wing, back in the day, I believed in her. The woman had lived through fucking hell, even through sobriety. And she seemed to be, when she told her story, she was definitely the same kind of, my kind of crazy. And I was like, that's the only person that I'm going to listen to, right? That's who I need to learn from. And because when you're trying to grow and expand your life and go somewhere you've never been, you got to trust and believe in the person, at least I do, that you're learning from. You don't want to just pick somebody just because they have material things. You want to pick somebody because they have good character. Their words match their feet. They're doing what they're saying they're doing, right? That's fucking important. And this woman, I was like, she's the one, right? She's the one. I know. I sat back and watched people for a really long time, and because that's another thing that was told to me in early sobriety is sit back and watch people. Lisa, they'll make all the mistakes for you. You watch people, what they're doing. Before you ask somebody to help you, make sure they're doing what they say they're doing. Because people can talk all kinds of shit, but then when it comes to their real life, they're not implementing anything they're fucking saying. They just sound good, right? So this whole, I could do anything I want. I just have to be willing to live with the consequences of my actions. This is why I have stayed single for so long. This is why I choose to also be celibate. I've been celibate for, I don't even know how long it's been so long. Years, okay? But it's because I'm not willing to deal with the consequences of just like a one night stand, or, you know, I'm not going to settle for just anybody. You know, I've paid a huge price for my peace of mind, you know, over these last 23 years. You know, I've been willing to walk away from people, right? It's like, I know that if I go here, this is what always happens, right? So do I want to go there anymore? No. So if I go there, this is what's, if I don't go there, you know, it's probably going to hurt these people's feelings, right? But if I do go there, I'm going to be batshit crazy. So which consequence can I live with? Okay, I can live with hurting people's feelings, right? You know, that's the bottom line. Like, my peace of mind is everything. And you know, I've had opportunities throughout my I just made a decision. That was it. I just make that decision. I ask myself that very question before I do anything drastic. Like, okay, Lisa, you're going to call this guy. This guy, every time you call this guy, you freaking cry, right? Because he doesn't give a shit about you. Are you willing to freaking deal with the pain of that and calling him? No, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. There are plenty of times that I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I needed to know, right? Because something inside of me was like, ugh, you know, but I love him. Okay. So it's like, you do what you do until you know better, right? And when you know better, you do better, right? And it's just been trial and error, right? But it's like, it's always been my choice. I fucking say, right? My life is not controlled by anybody, right? Anymore, or anything. It's me. I make the decision. I make the choice. I say yes or no, right? And when if I say yes and it starts starting to feel good, I have the option of freaking jumping ship, right? And listen, I don't feel the need to explain myself anymore today. I don't feel the need to prove myself to anybody today. Like, I got God on my back. God sees everything I've done and how hard I've worked for what I have today. Even if it's not like a lot materially, like, there are people, like, what I have inside, what I stand on, like, is like me. Like, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know that if I'm on your side, like, you're good, right? And I know that if being somebody's friend is an honor and a privilege, right? But it's a two-way street. Like, it's an honor and a privilege for someone to let me into their life and to be a friend, right? So these were all things I didn't know that I figured out along the way, right? And but these are things that I totally believe in. You know, people think that I'm mean, or that I'm not, or maybe I'm insecure, or like I'm quiet or whatever, just because I'm not out there. I don't have nothing to prove to nobody. I'm not out there freaking, I don't need anybody's attention, right? Like, I don't make these videos for people's attention. I make these videos because God puts it on my heart to share what's helped me come out of the fucking craziness inside my mind, right? And to be able to stand on a firm foundation and build a foundation for myself. And when I have built something for myself, that means nobody can take it away from me. Why? Because I built it. It's the house I fucking built. My home, my heart, right? I say, when I was down and out, who was there? God and my kids. Who do I count on today? Me, God, my kids. That's it. People saw me struggling over these last 20 years, 23 years that I've been sober, and they could have helped and they didn't. And it's fine. Everybody's allowed to do whatever they want. But don't be that's it. That's it. When you build your own foundation, you get to say who gets to stand with you in it, or on it. Period, point blank. Bye.